Welcome to week 6 of the practice. So wishing you well wherever you are. And in today's practice, we will of course be looking at a few of the poses we've done before. In addition, we will add one more balancing standing pose, that is Ardha Chandrasana. And that should be fun to try if you haven't done this pose before. And towards the end of the sequence, we will go through again all the inversions, shoulder stand, Halasana, which we have been learning, Sarvangasana and Halasana, which we have been learning. And I will also show a slightly different way of going into the pose today. So that's just a brief overview of our sequence today, but let us begin as usual. So take a nice comfortable seat, bring the fingertips close to the sides of the body, use the hands, press into the floor, and lift and lengthen the sides of the chest. Roll the outer shoulders back, bring your upper arms closer to the sides of the body, move the shoulder blades in. Look straight. Maintaining the lift and length of the front of the body, bring the palms of the hand and let it rest at the center of your chest. Now, keeping the eyes relaxed and soft, slowly close your eyes. And we will start with the invocation and the 3 Oms. So let's start with taking a deep, slow, long inhale. Yogena citasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavaidakena yopakarotam pravaram muninam Patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankhachakrasidharinam Sahasra Shirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Harihi Om. Take another deep, slow, long inhalation and exhalation. Gently lower your head down. Release the hands, place them back on your legs, and lift your head up. So we start by coming up into Tarasana. So you can move any seating blankets away. Stand with your big toes close together. Evenly press the right and the left foot down on the mat. Lift the waistline, lift the side armpit chest, roll the outer shoulders back. Extend from the outer shoulders down into the wrist, spreading the front of the chest, looking straight. Bring your outer shin bones in, your outer thigh bones in, and press the heels firmly. Maintaining this alert, aware, standing pose. Stretch your arms straight. Keep your weight heavy on the heels, keeping your thighs back. And with an inhalation, go ahead and stretch your arms up. Keep the upper arms close to the ears. Lift up. Use the arms to lift the side chest up. At the same time, keep your awareness to keep the weight of the body on the heels. Elbows tight, arms extended. And if you can keep the extension of the sides of the chest looking straight, work your arms back and closer towards the ears. Now slowly release and bring your hands down. Baddhanguliyasana. Take your right thumb on top of your left, interlace the hands, keep a good clasp of the fingers as you turn the palms out. Tighten your elbows, maintain the extension of the arms as you reach your arms up. Here too, use the upper arms, lift the side chest, lift the armpit chest, keep your outer legs in, keeping your outer hips firm, pressing into the heels. Lift up, stretch up. Move the arms back. Now release. Bring your hands down. Let's change our interlace. Left thumb comes on top. Interlace the hands, turning the palms out. Again, keeping the outer elbows in, lengthening through the upper arms with an inhalation. Go ahead and stretch your arms up. Focus your attention on stretching the armpits. Bring your outer arms in. Move the upper arms back. Keep the weight heavy on the heels. Outer thighs, outer hips in. Look straight. Stretch the armpit. Now release and bring your hands down. Now we are going to do Paschima Baddha Hastasana. We already did it last week. So where we take our arms behind. So you can take your arms and at the back and hold on close to the elbows. Use your hands to pull the upper arms down. At the same time, roll the shoulders back so you have a good clasp. Opening the front of the chest, keeping your head receding back and stretching the shoulders down to the elbows. Don't let your back round. If that is happening, you can hold a little bit looser at the wrist. You need to see that the hold helps you to really roll the shoulders back and open the chest. Now let's change the grip. So we probably have a default. So just swing the arms the other way, again holding the elbows. Grip here. If you can catch the joint here, then you can hold it. Otherwise, wherever it's possible for you. And extend down. Spread your collarbones. Take the outer shoulders back and stretch the upper back down. Again, be conscious about your Tadasana. Stay on your heels. Keep a control of your thighs and look straight. Now release. Now we are also going to do Gomukhasana. Let's do a little bit of free movement just to get the body moving. So don't take your arms out too wide. Try to keep your arms more centered as you reach your arm up. 3 times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Reach up. Take your upper arm back. Again, inhale. Reach the upper arm back. Taking it back. And then one more time. Lengthen and take the arm back. Next, left hand. Take your arm straight. Keep your elbow joint straight. Lift up. Stretch the whole side. Move the upper arm back. And again, 2 and 3 and then down. Now let's also work the hand from the top and from the bottom. So let's start with our left hand. So you can take your left hand, swing it and start low. So I'm turning around so you can see. My hand is close just to the hips here. And then I try to slide my hand so it goes up my back. Try not to cross it over. This is the center of my spine, so I try to take my hand back. If you can, use your hand, the other hand, and see how far it goes. However, if your chest is collapsing, keep your hand lower down. Yeah, so let's do that. So taking your left hand from below, start from the base, close to the buttocks, and then you can slide your hand down, up the back to see where you can reach. And then take your outer shoulders back, move from the shoulders down to the elbows, opening the front of the chest. Now let's do the other hand. So take your right hand, swing the arm, keep it low, and then as you bend at the elbow, just see how far the hand goes up. Again, don't force these things. Go slowly, go to your level, and at the same time, when you maintain the alignment of the body, then slowly the shoulders also open. Focus your attention on the outer shoulder as you take it back, but be conscious that you don't rotate your whole chest. Keep yourself more centered, work the shoulder. And now release. Now let's do the whole pose. You don't really need a belt. You can work with the belt, but even if you don't catch, you can reach in that direction. So reach your right arm up. Really stretch it up. Try to stretch your armpit chest. Work your arm more back as much as possible, but without puffing forward. Keep your abdomen in. Keep the weight heavy on the heels. Now bend your elbow. So we bend the elbow. You're trying to go down your back. Stretch from the armpit to the elbow. keeping the arm not coming towards the head, just in line with your shoulder. Then you swing that left hand, take it from below and slowly climb it up. If you can grip your fingers, then clasp the fingers, look straight, reset your Tadasana, pressing your feet down, rolling the shoulder back and stretching from the armpit to the elbow. Keep working from the armpit all the way up into the elbow and stretching the arm back. In terms of your left shoulder, rolling the left shoulder back. Keep your abdomen in, weight on the heels. Look straight. Now release. Other side, so left arm up. Lengthen the left upper arm. Try to reach up, stretch your upper arm, then take it back. Then bend at the elbow. Try to go down with the hand. Then swing your right hand from below. Start at the base, climb your hand to the point it's possible. If your fingers clasp, go for it. Otherwise, just keep your hands moving towards each other. Don't turn your body to reach. Stay very steady on the torso. Slowly, the shoulders will open. Lengthen the whole armpit to the elbow. Roll that right shoulder back. Weight on the heels. Knees straight. Look straight. Stretch from the left armpit to the elbow, keeping the elbow in line with your shoulder. Now slowly release and take the hand down. Next is Paschima Namaskarasana. So here too, start from the base, like we did the lower part of the hand in Gomukhasana. So you take your hands. This is Namaskar, right? So you start like this. I turn around slightly. You place your hands pointing down and then see if you can turn. And once you turn, you can slide your hands up to the point where it's possible for you and then press the hands. So you keep your weight heavy on the heels, equally pressing into the right and the left. Roll the shoulders back. Move from the elbows towards the palms of the hand so you can pressurize. It's a good opening for the wrist. And also watch this portion, this front armpit, lift it up. So you can roll that shoulder back more and move the shoulder blades into the back. So this is a bit complex in terms of the shoulder movement, but this really helps to open our chest and to create more the tendency of a rounded spine. The concavity of the back increases. So you can draw the shoulder blades in, chest open, moving the elbows back. Stay standing on your Tadasana, of course. Now turn around and then release the hands down. Now we move on to a few of our standing poses. So since we said we were going to do one balancing pose later, let's revisit the balancing pose we've already done. Please make sure that you have either a wall. We have done some options where we have placed ourselves with our back to the wall and lifted your foot up, and then you went up with your arms. That's option one. If that's not possible, you can also stand close to another wall and we take our right leg up. Yeah, so there is options. If you are fine and you can stand with your feet together, then go ahead and stand with your feet together, pressing your heels down, roll the outer shoulders back, elbows tight, and keep the weight heavy on the heels. Let's start by lifting the right leg. So place your hands on your hip, lift your right leg up, lift the knee up, and then turn the foot. Remember to put the whole right foot on your left inner thigh. Bring it up as high as possible. And then hug the outer hip bones. Keep the left outer hip in. So you're standing on the left leg. Stretch your right knee down. Now take your arms in front. Hug into the midline so you can look straight. Steadying the eyes really helps as you stretch and lift your arms up. When you're in this pose, keep lifting through the sides of the chest. Focus your attention on the left outer hip. Bring it in. Keep your weight on the heel and try to move your right knee down. Lengthen both sides of the waistline. Now slowly bring your hands down and bring your feet down. And again, balancing poses are very good. Even if you fall off, it's totally okay. Every time we do it, it does help the body. So let's do the left side. So again, lift your left foot up, Turn the shin bone. Place the foot on your inner thigh. Take your attention to your right outer hip. Draw it in. Draw that right inner thigh up. Lift the right waistline. And at the same time, keep the left buttock firm. Take your arms from the center. Fix your eye gaze. And keeping the elbows straight, lift and stretch your arms up. Again, the arms are optional. If you find balancing is tricky, you know you can place your hand on the wall for support or even keep your hands on your hips. What's important is you don't hang into the hips like this, yeah? You want to see that the outside of your body, and that's good because that makes both sides stronger. So it makes you work your legs. Now slowly bring your hands down, bring your foot down, and pause in Tadasana. So once more, have a quick look, reset your feet, big toes connect, shoulders back. Next, we go for Utkatasana. I'm turning sideways, but you can also look at me so you have a little reference in terms of the side view. So keep your big toes close, reach up with the arms like in Urdhva Hastasana, work your arms back. Lift this back of the body up and away, keeping your head back. Now maintain this because this is that dorsal spine slightly in as you go down. So keep lifting the chest, lowering your hips and going down all the way. Keep the weight on the heels, keep lifting the side, armpit, chest, arms back. And now press into the heels, inhale and come back up. Utkatasana. Now turn yourself around and pause. Take a couple of breaths. Now we revisit again the basic standing poses, and they have to be repeated quite a few times because not only do they make us stronger, but it also teaches us many of the base actions in most postures. So let us start with Trikonasana. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, and spread your legs out. In fact, this is the base position, which is Uttita Hasta Padasana. So this is the base position. And then we are going to go for Parshva Hasta Padasana. That means the Parshva action is the turning of the leg. So please turn your right leg out completely. The whole thigh, the knee, the foot has to turn. Turn your left toe slightly in. By now you know this. Press the heels, stretch your arms. Be strong with the legs. Both legs straight, knees straight, elbows straight. Go down from the hip. The waistline is not where we turn from. This would be working from the waistline, which is very different. So please, again, I'm going to go up once more so you can feel the difference. So come up. Both sides of your waistline long, armpits long. Then press your legs. Go to this part of the hip. From here, extend. Be strong on the legs. Stretch that right arm long. Keep extending it until you feel you cannot anymore. Then just drop your hand. Take your attention to your top left arm. The chest has to turn. The abdomen has to turn. So turn your abdomen, turn your chest and stretch up. Look straight, turning your chest more and more. If you can go down, as long as the both sides of the chest remain long. Tighten your upper arm. It's very easy for us to curve our spine. We want equal extension. So stretch the bottom part, the right side and the left side equally. Now use the top arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Once more, have a quick look to see your feet are in line. Spread the chest and eyes steady. Now, keeping the extension of the arms, turn your left leg out. Remember to turn the entire knee and don't keep this leg loose. Tighten the leg. Press the left foot. Turn your right toes in. Keep your right hip back. Hip facing forward, chest facing forward. Now, pressing into the back leg. Again, from the hip. Don't let the hip go back too much. Keep it rolling forward. Keep your right hip back. So that way you will stay more stable. Press your feet. Lengthen the whole left side of your body. Reach with your left arm and then drop your hand down. Same thing as we did before. From the left side, we have to turn our abdomen, turn our chest so that the top right side lifts. Don't collapse yourself into the pose like this. This is not how we do the pose, yeah? So you have to press your legs so your spine lengthens from the legs and the hip. Now pressing into the back leg, pressing into the front foot, lift with the top arm, inhale and come up. Turn your toes in. Jump your legs and come back to the center. Quick look, pause. See that your feet, your toes are in line again, your big toes touching. Press the bottom of the feet evenly down, shoulders back, elbows straight, observing the breath, looking straight for a few moments. Virabhadrasana 2. Again, bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Stretch your arms from the center of the chest, turn your right leg out completely, turn your left foot in, hips level, chest level, tighten your arms, stamping into the back leg, start to bend from the hip again. Yeah, so we're always in this position. What is most important in these poses is to watch the position of the knee, not letting it go forward, press your heel and turn from the right waistline to the left, right armpit to the left, keep your left leg straight, go down from the hip. If you can go down and you have a bit more mobility, like I'm widening my legs, go down. But see that your hip is not collapsing. It has to be up as you keep the legs steady. Lowering your hips is fine, but lifting the chest and keeping the back leg firm. Now press into the legs, come back up, turn your toes in. Again, I always check to make sure my feet are in line, so my hips remain in line as well. Now turn your left leg out completely. Turn the foot. The heel and the arch of the back foot is aligned in this way. Make your hips level, stretch your arms, keep pressing into the back leg, and again, from the hip, lower your left sitting bone down. Again, watch your knee, don't let it go forward, even maybe lift your toe to see that its weight is on the heel, and then lowering your hips down. Your left knee moves back, but your left hip turns to the right. Turn from the left side. Again, if you find your distance is a little shorter, go back with the back leg so you can lower your hips a bit more. But watch your legs. Knee back, hip forward. Keep the right leg straight. This is the back leg. Now press into the legs, straighten out your knees, turn your toes in, jump, and come back to standing. Observe your breath, settle your breath, look straight. Smooth, steady inhale and smooth, steady exhale. Evenly pressing your feet, bringing your outer legs in, spreading your collarbones, keep extending through the fingers. Uttita Parshva Konasana, so you can get your blocks, and we might even use blocks later, but for now, just yes. If you don't use blocks, that's fine, but I'm going to use my blocks. So placing your blocks behind you, stand with your feet together again, taking your outer shoulders back, bring your hands in the center, once more, bring your hands in the middle, bend your knees and jump. Have a good jump. And you all know that you don't have to jump. Just spreading your legs is fine. I'm just jumping because that's done, but you don't have to do the jump. You can just spread your legs and then move from there. Now turn your right leg out completely. Turn your left toes in. Go down deep like you did in Virabhadrasana 2. Now from the hip, Trikonasana action. Keep the waistline long as you go. See how far your waistline can go, touch your thigh. And then you can place your hand accordingly. Now bring your left hand on the hip. If your abdomen is dropping, this is where we have to lift ourselves up. Both sides of the torso remain long. Turn from the right hip to the left, right armpit to the left. Keep taking your left shoulder back more and more. See that the left elbow goes back, left knee straight. Now when your shoulder has gone back, only then reach your arm up. So that way we can work from the back of the arm, extend the sides of the body. Otherwise, we are collapsing our chest in this way. Yeah, so that's why it's important. You have to revolve your chest, take that shoulder back, keep the upper arm tight, and stretch to the fingertips. Keep the hip, your left hip has to go down, right knee to the upper arm. Revolve your abdomen, your chest. Now use the top arm and lift yourself up and come up. Relax your hands. Turn your toes in again. Keep your feet in line, pressing the heels, shoulders back, and Parshva Konasana on the left side. So spread your arms out from the center of the chest. Turn your left leg out completely. Turn your right toes slightly inward. Keep your hips level, pressing into the outer edge of your right heel. Begin to bend your left leg. You can again bring your right hand on the hip. Lift from the left waistline. Keep the abdomen in to keep it nice and firm. Stretch your left arm long. Take your waistline down, then the chest down, then the armpit down. Go slowly. Then accordingly, you place your hand on the block. So it gives you a little bit of movement. Lowering your right hip down. Keep the right thigh back. Move your knee back. And from the waistline, turn the chest. Take your attention to the top shoulder. Keep moving that shoulder back as you turn your chest more and more, keeping the hips level. Once you've turned the chest, stretch your arm. Then revolve the upper arm and take it across your head, extending through the fingers. Keep the chest opening. Lower your left hip, move the left knee to the arm, but move the left side of the chest up and rotate it. Keep your right knee straight. Stretch your right fingertips. Now lift your right arm, press into the heels, inhale and come up. Turn your toes in, jump, and come back to standing. Pause here as you join your big toes. Keep the weight heavy on the heels. Once more, Samasthiti or Tarasana. Shoulders back, elbows straight, observing the breath, normal soft inhale and exhale. Now I'm going to move the blocks out for a while because the next two poses is Vimanasana and Virabhadrasana 1. So we have done these poses as well. And since we are going to turn our chest a little bit, I will just adjust my mat so that there is room for me to turn. So once more, stand on the center of your mat, Vimanasana. Take your outer shoulders back as before. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, spread your legs. Keep the chest spreading. So this openness of the chest, even in the previous pose, Parshva Konasana, we move that shoulder back. So the front of the body opens. So we don't want this to close. So spread your chest. Pull the right arm, pull the left arm. Now turn your whole right leg out. The left toes have to turn much more. We have practiced this quite a few times. So you know you have to do a 60-degree turn with the foot. However, you want to keep your hip back and only revolve from the back of your thigh to revolve your hip. Then go to the armpit here. So move the waistline, the armpit forward as you extend. And then keeping the weight heavy on the back leg, head back, chest forward. Take your arms more back and bend your front leg. And as you bend your front leg, if you find the distance is too short, you can take your back leg further back. So you can sit deeper into the pose. Make your legs tight. And then again, turn your back of your thigh, moving the hip forward, but keep the legs straight and go down, sit down, extending and reach with the arms. Now press into the heels. Straighten your front leg, turn your chest around, turn your toes in, relax your hands for a moment. Have a quick look to see your toes, see that your feet are in line. Keep the sides of the chest open, and let's do the left side. So spread the arms out from the center of the chest, tighten your upper arms, stamp your legs. I'm going to go a little bit wider because then I can bend my legs better. So turn your left leg out completely. Turn your right toes in. See that the weight is heavy on the legs. And then again, don't shorten your right waistline. The hips have to remain level. So you have to become more conscious of what's going on in the body, keeping the legs firm. And now start to turn from the back of your thigh. Turn your chest. Keep the legs stable. Now keep the arms back, chest forward, head back. Now keeping the weight on your right outer edge of the heel, bend your left knee. As you go down from the hip, go down, but keep revolving your chest. Keep the heels firm. Don't go on the left toes. Chest back, head back. Spin the arms. Now pressing into the legs, straighten out your left foot. Keep the arms up if you can. Turn yourself around. Turn your toes in. Jump and come back to Samasthiti. Once more. Reset your Tadasana. Shoulders back. Elbows straight. Smooth inhale and exhale. Just recover your breath for a few moments. And now we start with Virabhadrasana 1. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs out. Spread your arms, spread your legs, keep the feet pressing firmly into the mat. Now turn your right leg out completely, turn your left toes in, keep the weight heavy on the heels, keeping the legs firm. Now this time we are going to lift our arms up. So rotate your upper arms, lift the side chest, lifting the torso up and away from the pelvis. Yet keep pressing your heels down. Now keep the lift of the chest. As you turn your chest, try to bring your left side of the chest forward, left hip forward, right hip back. As you keep revolving your hips and your chest, now bend your front leg. So go ahead and bend your leg, go down from the hips. At the same time, keep the back leg straight and firm. And turn your chest. Reach up. If you can, take your arms back. Look up. If you can, the next stage, try to bring your hands closer, almost touching. But arms go back. And now from here, release, turn around, and bring your hands down. Reset your feet again. See that your toes are in line. Stamp the outer edges of the feet. Spread your arms from the center of the chest. Rotating the inner upper arms, lift up, stretch up. Hug the outer arms in. Lift the side chest up. Now turn to your left. So turn your left leg out completely. Turn your right toes in. Start turning from the hip, turning from the chest. Keep pressing the legs. Lift the arms up. Take your arms back if you can behind your ears. And now bend your front leg. As you bend your front leg, again, be conscious. Your right heel has to be pressing into the floor. Turn from the back of your right thigh. Keep your weight heavy on the heels as you go down. Lift the chest. Stretch your upper arms. Work your upper arms almost back behind your head, behind your ears. Look up. If you can, try to touch the fingers in Namaskarasana and yet bring your hips down. Elbows straight. And now from here, straighten the leg. Release the hands. Turn yourself around. Foot in front. And jump back. And come back to Samasthiti. So once more. Quick check. Have a look at your feet. Shoulders back. Elbows straight. Tightening the upper arms. So I'm sure by now you're quite warmed up. Even a few of these poses definitely gets you moving every part of the body. So as we said, we are going to go for a new pose today. That is Ardha Chandrasana. Ardha means half and Chandrasana is the moon. So this is half moon pose. So for this, let's do one free just to get a feeling of the movement. And then I will also demo one with the block. So let's begin. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees and jump and spread your legs out. So first we go for a quick Trikonasana. So turn your right leg, turn your left foot in, stretch your arms, go down, place your hand down. Now go for a Parshva Konasana, but let's bring our hand on the hip. Your chest is facing forward. Yeah, you have to turn your chest. Now you go down. Remember, we lower yourself. Don't have your chest facing forward. It's up. Now reach with your hand. See wherever your hand touches. Now you have to shift your hip. That means your back leg here has to come forward as you take your hand forward. Please note, my hand is not close to my foot. My hand is going forward so that when I lift my back leg up, it is underneath my shoulder. So see if you can bend your elbow. So let's do it again. So it's a movement, like you're trying to pick up something, right? So you bend your leg, you reach with your arm, see if you can touch the floor, and then bring the back leg closer with the knee bent halfway, and then stretch and lift the back leg up. Make the leg knees tight, and then turn your chest. And then bend your leg, bring your hand back to Trikonasana, inhale and come up. Yeah? So again, it's a new pose, so a little bit of practice will help. Of course, if you practiced before, then you can follow along easily. Let's do the left side. So bring your hands in, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs. Turn your left leg out completely, right toes in. Go into Trikonasana. Yeah, so this is Trikonasana. Parshvakonasana, which means you're going down. Remember, chest is going down. Now you have to reach. Let your arm go forward. See where you can touch the floor. But you also have to bring your hand a little bit on the hip. So you're conscious, your hip has turned, your chest has turned. In fact, you can even stay here in this position. If you want to go forward, bring your back leg, your right foot closer. Walk your hand further forward. So you have this extra hand. You're going to take this leg off. So you need another leg. And in this case, it's your hand. So press and then lift your leg up. You have to tighten your knees as you stretch the leg. Turn your chest. And now bend your leg. Come down and come up through Trikonasana and come up. Okay, so turn your toes in, jump, and walk your legs back. So let's do that one more time. Now, supposing your hands don't touch. Yeah, so that's where I just want to show you the way we do it with a block. So let's do one more option. You can start by keeping your blocks a little bit higher up. Bring your hands in the center, get ready, bend your knees, jump. Turn your right leg out, left foot in, lengthen the side of the body, go down to Trikonasana, Parshvakonasana. Now take your block, this is your block. Bring your left hand on the hip. As you bring your left leg closer, walk the block forward. So you can press into the block and lift that leg up. Keep your hand on the pelvis so you can learn to turn your pelvis more, turn the shoulder and stretch your leg long. Press your hand into the block. Now to come down, bend your knees, throw the leg back, come through half Parshvakonasana, straighten your legs, turn the chest and come up. Now turn your toes in. It's probably not as easy as that, but it is something as a process of practice, and you will find one side will be easier than the other. But if you know how to do the pose, the more you practice, it gets better. So let's do the other side. Stand with your feet together. Bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, jump and spread your legs. First, Trikonasana. So you rotate your whole leg, you turn your foot, you reach with the side chest and go down. This much is easy. Then from here, we bring our hand on the hip. Begin to bend your leg. Then you grab your block. So it should be behind your foot. You hold it nicely. Now bring your leg closer. And this is actually a coordinated move. It's like walking. You take your hand forward and your leg forward, right? So this. And then you press your hand as you lift your leg up. Push into the hand. So it's underneath your shoulder. This is important, underneath your shoulder. If your hand is here, you will be a bit like this, yeah? So please make sure your block is underneath your shoulder. Straighten your legs, tighten your knees. Now, if you're able to, can you turn your chest, turn your hips, fix your eye gaze, and keep stretching and lifting the leg. Tight, legs straight, hands on the hip. Now bend your legs, reach the leg back, bring your block down, straighten your leg, and come up. Turn your toes in, jump, and walk your legs back. Good. So that was Ardha Chandrasana. Now you can move your blocks out. because for now we are going to do Parshvottanasana, which you've also done. But today we will do with Paschima Namaskarasana. So we learned this pose when we took our hands from the back and we took our hands up. Yeah, so you can do this. But of course, if you cannot do this, you can just hold your wrist. You know this option as well. So I'm giving you both options. So let's start by jumping and then we'll take our hands. So bring your hands in the center, bend your knees, spread your legs out. Parshvottanasana with the hands in Paschima Namaskarasana. So pressing into the feet, take your arms from the back. I am doing Paschima Namaskarasana. Paschim is usually it's the back part of the body. So Purvottanasana, you will often hear Purva is the front of the body in yoga and the Paschim is the back. So that's why Paschim Namaskarasana. So you're taking your hands from the back. Yeah. So next time you see Paschim something, then you know Paschimottanasana. That is also another pose. So these are similar sounding names and you can begin to see the relationship. Now press your hands, roll the shoulders back as you press the palms into each other. Spread your collarbones. Now turning to your right side. So turn your right leg out completely. Turn your left toes in. Keep the weight heavy on the heels, pressing, and start revolving from the back of the thigh. Again, dorsal spine in, shoulders back. Keep the legs straight as you start moving your left hip forward, right hip back. Keep the front of the body long. A little bit we are also turning from our left waistline to the right. You want to gaze towards your big toe or even beyond. Keep your whole body long. Now, if your legs are straight and your back is not rounding, you can let your head release. However, it's important that your elbows don't cave in. This sinks the chest. Keep pointing the elbows up, shoulders back as you let your head go down. Keep the weight heavy on the legs. Look at your right big toe. Press it strongly. Now, from here, look forward, pressing into the feet. Inhale and come up. Turn yourself around, keeping your feet back in line, pressing the legs, spreading the collarbones, turning yourself to the left. Turn your entire left leg out, turn your right toes in, keep the weight heavy on the heels, start to turn from the pelvis. Also, keep the whole front of the body lifting, not dropping. Yeah, so that was what was happening there. I corrected it. So you have to lift up. Lift the abdomen, lift the chest. So maintain the lift. Keep the legs firm and then keeping the lift as you go forward. You want to maintain the lift of the pelvis, lift of the chest as you go forward. Don't let this collapse. Now again, we turn from the right waistline to the left. Press your left big toe, legs straight as you go forward. Press the palms into each other, shoulders back, elbows up. And then let your head go down, chest go down. Release your head. But pay attention to the legs. Both legs straight. Now press the feet, look forward, keep the front of the body long as you inhale and come up. Turn your toes in, release the leg, hands, and jump back. Pose. So the next pose that we are going to look at is Gomukhasana or downward facing dog. So for this, we are doing a very simple version. So you can step to the top of your mat, keep your feet hip distance apart, bend your knees, see that your hands are spread. So you have a good contact, especially the index finger thumb side. So go down, press your index finger side down, your thumb down, make a good contact with the palms of the hand, and then just step your legs back. As you step your legs back, you want to see that your hands are pressing, your elbows are firm, and you're stretching from the armpit, this part, to the hips. Usually, we tend to fall this way. But if you press, you can work on stretching from the armpit to the outer hips. In the previous pose, remember I said, don't let your knees come forward. So move your outer knees back here, the inner knees back. So the knees remain straight and press your hands. Let your head release.
Stretch your armpit. We've been opening our dorsal spine. So when you see things round, stretch your armpits, make your legs straight, elbows straight. Now look forward, walk forward, and come up. We are going to repeat that once more. Ardha Svanasana. Separate out your feet. Look forward. Reach your arms. Go down. You can go through Utkatasana. Spread the palms of the hand. Once you spread the palms of the hand, look back slightly and then walk your legs back. Once you walk your legs back, tighten your elbow joint. Make your knees straight, elbows straight. Press the palms of the hand. Stretch from the armpits to the outer hips. Take your outer knees back, inner knees back, and stretch from the calf muscle down to the heels. Take a couple of breaths, watch your elbows, make them straight, lifting, and then look forward, walk forward, and come to the top of the mat. Good. That was Ardha Svanasana. Uttanasana. So you can turn yourself around. You can take 2 blocks if you need 2 blocks. First is concave back. So we start doing the first one with the feet apart. So that's a little bit wider than your hips if you're tighter in the hamstrings, or as wide as your hips. So stand with your toes pointing straight. Keep the outer hips and the inner thighs back. Keep a kind of spreading of the back of the thigh. We've been doing these movements when we've been doing Virabhadrasana 1, Parshvottanasana. So now you should be more familiar of this rotation. Keeping the legs straight, reach with your arms. We've done Urdhva Hastasana. If you have a back problem, you can keep your hands on the hip. But if you're fine, then reach with the arms. In Parshvottanasana, we stretch the arms forward, the pelvis forward. Keep reaching, lengthening as you go down. Until you cannot anymore, then bring your hands underneath the shoulders. Like we also did in Ardha Chandrasana. So you want the hands underneath the shoulders so you can lift the chest, stay on your fingertips if the palms don't go down. Roll the upper arms, pull the shoulder blades into the back, and stretch the whole front of the body. Belly forward, chest forward, look upward slightly. Don't round your back. If you need, you know that you can also take blocks. Front body long. Knees tight. And now if you're okay in terms of hamstring, if you got any back problem, stay here. It is totally okay. But if you are fine in terms of movement, you can release your chest down. Let your head go down. You can place your hands on the floor or even hold your ankles and stretch the sides of the body. Let the head drop, but don't move your head in. That rounds our back. Keep your head away, move your belly in, then the chest in, and finally the head will go down. Legs straight, knees tight. Spread the back of your thighs. Relax the neck, don't grip there. Now start to lift yourself up. And next we are going to do Baddhanguliyasana. So you can use your first 2 fingers, grab the big toes. You also know if you cannot do that, you need a belt. You can put the belt underneath your feet, pressing the feet. So the reason we put it is that you should be able to press your feet into it so you can lift up. Yeah, so because there's the way the foot presses helps you. So that's why when I grip here, I press my big toes down so that I can create this extension of my spine. There's a movement downwards with the feet. Stretch the spine, legs tight. Keep the concavity of your back, moving the dorsal spine in, stretching from the abdomen forward, shoulders back. If you are holding the belt, you can hold higher. So you can hold as higher. Even if I'm tighter, it's better to hold here than to round your back because this causes stress in our back. But this over time creates space and creates back relief. So be fine with holding higher so that you can really stretch your spine. Now release. Now take the belt out and
we are done now with most of our standing poses. And we are going to go into looking at Sarvangasana, Halasana. But today we are going to do a slightly different setup. All these days we've been doing it with the wall. So I am going to ask you to get a chair. If you have a home chair, that would be great. And then you can go get a chair. I will also start setting up my props. You also need your blanket, so get ready. You can pause the video for a short while, get all your props, and then we can begin. So we have a few more props in terms of setup. As I said, if you have a home chair, a chair would be useful, or you don't, even just a normal chair is fine. So I have set up 4 blankets here, and also so I have a few thick blankets. There are Iyengar Yoga blankets that are available, so you can look for them. And if you practice, then these are quite essential, especially if you're doing a longer hold and more variations. So that is the only way we do it. Otherwise, it puts too much pressure on our neck when we hold for longer periods of time. So I've set up the blankets. I've also put a blanket on the floor, if you notice. And I haven't put the sticky mat here. This is important to realize because you want your head not to be stuck in this process. So you can put a blanket because you also don't want the back of your head on a hard floor. And first you can do a little testing. So I'm going to sit on the edge of this blanket and see if my feet go underneath the seat of the chair. Because if it is very close and it goes far, that means when I swing my legs will fall off. But if I kind of place them in the center, then I know my feet, I will have some room. Anyway, all this will become clear once you do it. So you need to sit on the edge of the blanket. You need to see that when your legs are straight, they are just directly underneath your chair. Now, I set up my blanket nice and smooth. Also, sometimes the flipping of the sticky mat really helps because it helps you to ground your elbows. So as I've done, I've kept the blankets on the edge of the blanket, and then I take my sticky mat and I fold it over. So it gives me an additional, I want to make it nice and smooth, leverage for my elbows. Okay, so let's start. You can keep your belt. Okay, one more thing. It's often very difficult for a lot of us to swing from here, especially because the height of the support is quite high. So if you have an additional cushion or a blanket, we have bolsters. I will show you how to put a bolster. So I'm going to bring my bolster. So I can keep my bolster here. So that way it's easier for me to roll. So I keep my belt in my hand. I keep it on my shoulder. I sit on the bolster and then I go back. Please look to your right and left to see there's equal distance. Then you can move anything which is obstructing your hair. Again, lift the back of your neck, slowly go down till the head is down. Once you're here in the pose, again, I move my rubber band away. Have a quick look. Your shoulders are still within this. Now, as I said, you can bend your knees and throw the legs back. Now, once the legs are back, this is why we kept some space. You need to walk your legs. So your hip, this is my shoulder. My hip has to go a little bit more forward. Then I take my belt and I first roll the belt, turn the palms out and extend, press my toes into the chair and lift the thighs. Again, I adjust my belt a little bit more. It has to come up to the upper arms, not at the elbow joint. Then spend a little time to tuck your shoulders in and really stretch the palms. Turn the palms out. Now, once you're here in the pose, lift the outer hips. Lift the side chest. Press your toes into the chair. Lift the thighs. Move the dorsal spine in. Now, once you've got this lift, you can easily hold your back. And then you can stay in Halasana. Then from here, we're going to practice lifting one leg up. So press your toes and start by lifting your right leg straight up. Watch your left hip, lift it.
and stretch the leg. Now bring your leg down. Ekapada Sarvangasana. Lift your left leg up. Watch your right outer hip. Keep it lifting. Stretch your leg. Bring it back down. Once more. Press your elbows. Lift the back. Lift your right leg up. Buttock in. Take your right leg down. Lift your left leg up. Stretch it. And also your right thigh. Now bring it down. Now let's see if you can bring both your legs up. Again, reset your shoulders. See that your elbows are firm. Now start by lifting your right leg. Lengthen it and suck the left leg up and lift it up. And then you're in Sarvangasana. Straighten your legs. Keep the buttocks in. The height really helps us to lift our back much more. Of course, if you don't have props, then you have to do this without all this. But ideally, this is the way it's done. Knees tight, buttocks in, legs straight. Use the hands to lift the back. The belt also helps because it makes sure your elbows don't go out to the right or the left. It takes a bit of getting used to, for sure, but once you start practicing, it does become easier. Straighten your legs, lift the back with the help of your legs. Now, slowly, one leg at a time, take it down. You can take the belt out. Again, you can stretch your arms, draw the shoulders down, and hold your back. If you are a bit more open, you can see if it's possible for you to take your feet down, lifting the thighs. But if it's not possible, keep your legs high. Yeah, so you have two choices. Stay in Halasana. Legs straight, press your toes. You have to work your legs because that's what creates the extension of the spine. Especially the quadricep muscles have to be tight, going into the hip. Now the next one is Karna Pindasana. So here what we do is we start to bring our legs down. If you cannot take your knees down more than this, you can even press the tops of the feet on the seat of the chair, moving the knees on either side of your ears and hold yourself here. So your knees separate and they go this way. If you're able to take your feet down, you can take your feet down. And it's the pressure of your thighs close that helps us to lift our back. So hug in tight. So move the thighs back to the chest. So it helps you to lift your back more. Yeah, so it's the work of the thighs. Karna Pindasana. Karna is the ear, and here we kind of go into this closed space. It's a good extension for the spine. Now to come up, you can straighten your legs in Halasana, place your hands at the back, bend your knees. Hopefully you have some bolster as well, so it should help you to come up. Now don't move too much. Stay where you are for a short while. Now slowly begin to turn yourself to the side and come up. And you can use the chair itself or even the wall for Paschima Namaskarasana. So I quickly show you one option facing the wall and one option facing the chair. So I continue to sit on the same height. I keep my legs straight. I take my bolster. I place it in front. I lengthen the torso, go forward, and let my head rest. If you're tighter and you cannot go down, you can even raise your bolster. So you can have it higher. And here it's a more quieter Paschimottanasana. Spread your back, legs firm. Knees tight. Only thing you have to watch is don't close this area. Keep the abdomen long. Spread the back of the body. And this is the end of the class. This is the end. So cooling off in Paschimottanasana. Stay for 1 or 2 minutes. I also want to show you another version so you can keep staying if that is comfortable for you. That is, if you had the chair already, you can just bring your chair a little bit closer. You can slip your legs through the chair and then even place your bolster at an angle. So you can lift your abdomen up and go forward. You can hold the sides of the chair, letting your head rest. And if this is causing any neck pressure, then you can fold your forearms this way and let your head rest. Legs straight. Now slowly begin to lift yourself up, and you can always stay longer if that feels right for you, and come up. You can also at home move all your props away, and you can set up. All you need is one blanket and maybe the mat only for your Shavasana. So I give you a little time. You can pause the video if you want and move all your props out to the side. You can set up for Shavasana, keep a mat. You can even put a blanket for your head if you want. And when you lay down, again, position yourself on the center of your mat. Go down carefully. Place the blanket so it covers from the neck, but your shoulders should be free. Roll the inner upper arms out. Keep this front of the chest spreading. We did a lot of work on spreading the chest and then keeping the fingertips relaxed. One leg at a time. Stretch the legs out and settle back into Shavasana. Once more, relax the facial muscles, relax the jaw, the throat, keeping your abdomen soft, completely resting. Facial muscles soft. Now you're at home, so you can stay as long as you wish. However, if you wish to come out, then slowly begin to take a few deeper breaths. Bring your right hand, your left hand back on your abdomen. Bending your right knee, your left knee. Turn yourself to the right side, bend your right upper arm, and stay there with your head resting. And then use your left hand, press into the floor, and with your next inhalation, come up. Okay, so that finishes our practice for week 6. And that means practice for the week. Therefore, you can always repeat the poses. You can even pick up one or two. It's ideally done if you do the sequence. You get the best benefit out of that.
However, if there are certain poses that you have difficulty with, especially like the new pose, Ardha Chandrasana, you can look at the video again. You can practice it a few times so that you get better at it. And it is only through practice that we become better. There's really no shortcut. And the learning process is always fun and exciting, but can also be often frustrating. So keep going. There are many practitioners along the way. And I wish you very well, and may you be well wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.